Killing is everything to a ninja like Kota. The scene then shifts to several ninjas hanging upside down as they are being eaten alive by blazing fire. The instructors watch as they succumb to their unfortunate fate, commenting that this year's batch is full of disappointment. However, their attention shifts to the lone kid who survives the trial. Even so, they are impressed by his aptitude for the element of fire. After surviving the dangerous trials, the kid is sent to the battlefield. The current leader smiles in triumph as he realizes that the kid has already mastered all of the Fuma ninja arts, thinking he will definitely be the next leader of the clan. During the night of the Battle of Kawago, he steps onto the brutal battlefield. The likes of him are meant to die from the day they are born into this world. They are prodigies solely devoted to the rigorous training of arcane assassination techniques. They are called Kamri. In the ninja's cold and lifeless land, the leader, Hojojin, praises his magnificent Fuma ninja squad who are delighted with their victory, promising to grant them a stipend. He commends the group leader, Kota, telling him to continue his great work. Kota looks at him with sharp eyes, acknowledging the kind words. Jainan then sends them off. From the shadows, a dark ninja takes a peek, warning the old man to be careful around the Fuma ninjas and not to trust them easily as they rigorous training. They are known to finish missions with no remaining trace of life as their ninjutsu surpasses the normal. Jinnin only laughs at the man, assuring him that the Fuma ninjas have an ironclad rule to serve his clan, the Hojo clan, and those who break it are sentenced to death. The entire clan is bound together by the shackles of this rule, and no one can escape it. In January 1979, during the Battle of Kaisagawa, soldiers attack aiming to take the enemy leader's head, only to be surprised to find a child in the middle of the gruesome battlefield. The general is shocked to see such an unassuming presence, but orders his men to slay the kid anyway. Kota removes his mask and activates his fire transformation ninjutsu, annihilating his enemies with raging fire in an instant. From the ground, the zombie bodies of the dead arise and stand before the horrified general. Kota appears behind him and attacks, leaving him lifeless. After the brutal fight, Kota walks through what is now the ferocious land of the dead. For him, killing is everything. He is trapped in a vicious cycle of killing to survive. In 1613, now aged 80, Kota is in shackles and missing one of his feet, facing punishment for all the vile crimes he has committed. He walks through the town for everyone to see that the deadliest criminal is now captured. The townsfolk look on, surprised by his massive appearance and calling him a monster. He is apprehended by the Edo shogunate, as the Hojo clan he served in his lifetime was finally defeated by Toyotomi and their village was successively destroyed. Before being executed, Kota is asked for his last words, but the old man refuses to say anything and is just glad that his hardships are now about to end. The samurai mocks him for being weak now, but Kota isn't afraid to die. He has never feared death in his long life. He only wishes he hadn't lived quite so long and had met his demise earlier. He looks at the bird watching over him and calls it Master Kite, wishing that the bird lives long and watches over him, dreaming that someday he can live as free as the bird. All his life, he has only wished and desired freedom, nothing else. The samurai raises his sword and ends Kota's life until a huge and demonic hand reaches out to him and declares that he is chosen. The demonic hand comes from the gate of the underworld, which sees the world through all things. In a surprising turn of events, Kota is given a chance to live again. The scene shifts to a child inside a monster's body being digested. As he struggles to breathe, he activates the ninjutsu technique fire transformation, causing the monster's gut to explode and expelling him instantly. The kid is stunned as he takes in the foreign land around him. He stares in confusion as different monsters and demons surround him, realizing that he has been reincarnated. A dragon is split in half while flying midway in the sky. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, a woman in cloak stares to the sky, shocked that a baby is expelled from the dragon's body. Kota rejoices as he is reborn, feeling free more than ever. Nearly 100 years ago, the hero Aslad defeated the demon lord together with his party called the Four Great Heroes, and they became legends. However, in the new world, a new demon lord has emerged, making the power of the demon king grown exponentially. The obliterated dragon continues to plummet from the sky and lands on the demon land, destroying a piece of the terrain. Just then, a humongous king goblin finds Kota, confused that a human baby was ejected from a dragon's body. He then kicks the baby away, mocking its inferior race. At that moment, a servant goblin arrives and reports that the Sky Goblin castle is in total wreck, infuriating them. Towering with its gigantic club, the king goblin suggests that they must eliminate the baby because it committed something unforgivable. Out of anger, the king goblin smashes the ground, intending to obliterate the baby. The other goblins cheer upon witnessing their leader's critical hit. However, to their surprise, the baby is able to dodge the attack. They all stare at the baby, confused that it survived such a powerful blow, since babies' bodies are still underdeveloped and difficult to move. However, in the blink of an eye, the baby crawls and jumps onto the king goblin's head, injuring it at once. He then uses ninjutsu, bar of fire, effectively burning the king goblin and its servants into embers. The goblins are all in shock as they burn away. A baby has just defeated them and even used advanced level fire magic, turning them to ashes. Meanwhile, a cloaked woman approaches the goblin castle, finding it nostalgic as it used to be a territory of the elfkin. She finds it bizarre that a baby came out of a dragon's belly. She walks carefully through the gruesome war zone and finds the baby lying in a cold bath, wondering if the baby did all of it. Finally, she has found the tiny seed of hope. She removes her cloak, revealing herself as Higuri, an elf and one of the 4 great heroes. In a distant memory, a couple was happy and content cradling their baby. The scene then shifts to a village burning, completely wiped out except for a baby. This survival from the inferno was a miracle, or could it be the way of a ninja? Kota realizes that these are all his memories from his past life. He has no family beside him, and the only one he can trust is himself. At present, Kota is wondering why he is having such memories and why an unfamiliar girl is cradling him. As he stares at the woman, he remembers that he has been reincarnated as a baby and questions who the woman in front of him might be. The woman then puts him down on a nearby rock, introducing herself as Higuri. He is confused about why she knows his identity. Higuri quickly apologizes, admitting that she took the liberty of looking into his memories. Kota is shocked to know that she used such a high-level technique. With a determined look on her face, she asks if he will allow her to be on his side and help him adjust to his new world and body. Kota is skeptical of her objective, thinking that she has an ulterior motive in offering help. However, he realizes that he needs her help and plans to use her to survive and then abandon her later. Having made up his mind, he lets her know that he approves of her, which makes her really happy, and she gives him a tight hug, shocking Kota. Panicking at his reaction, Higuri immediately apologizes and mentions that she's just elated and that his smile is so adorable. Kota is taken aback by her kind words. He looks directly into her eyes, wondering if she is trying to deceive him. However, he senses no bloodlust in her. Although surprised that such a person exists, he tells himself that he can't trust anyone but himself. People only want him to be their dog, and no one has ever shown him kindness. With his heart still scarred, he can obtain true freedom. While being carried by Higuri, Kota slowly feels his exhaustion and falls asleep from overexerting himself, partly because he is a baby. But another reason is that ever since he came to this world, he has felt really good. He wonders how long it's been since he slept this deeply. Is it because the killing intent he always feels directed toward him is now gone? Higuri carefully cradles him, promising that from now on, she will always be by his side and that he will no longer be alone. In a flashback, Higuri is shown slowly walking toward Kota and using her memory-reading spell, bringing herself into his dark past, witnessing the loneliness, pain, and suffering he endured. Tears roll down her face, feeling heartbroken for Kota. She realizes how terrifying ninjas are, who are also prone to turning into demons. However, in the child's heart, there was light. And no matter how lonely Kota was, he had never lost hope, and his heart never succumbed to despair. He has the qualities of a hero. And in this lifetime, Higuri wants to teach him what love is. Just then, the injured King Goblin appears behind Higuri planning an attack. He reaches out for Kota to exact revenge, only to be destroyed in an instant, so quickly that even the elf girl didn't notice its presence. As they continue to rest, a demon insect hovers over them, detecting their powerful presence. Higuri uses her Eren spell to obliterate the monster and gets ready to leave quickly as they have been discovered by the demonkin. She has to cross the former elfkin territory since it is the quickest way to get out of the demon territory. With this, she has no choice but to go through the great Rotwood Forest, the former home of the giant tree. Meanwhile, in the demon's lair, a lackey reports to the demon lord that one of the 4 great heroes, the elf king, Hagri, has been located. The demons are surprised that she is still alive, but find the report useless since the elf king has lost her former power, making her less of a threat now. However, the lackey points out that the real problem is her companion, the baby. He shows everyone Kota's prowess and how he single-handedly annihilated the king goblin even though he is just a baby. The demons are all shocked by this. Threatened, the demon king mobilizes his 10 demons to kidnap the baby and kill Higuri. Back in the former elf territory, Higuri is running with all her might as giant monsters chase her. Meanwhile, Kota is excited, seeing the peculiar creatures for the first time. Higuri warns him not to get too excited because he might fall. Since they are outnumbered, their only option is to flee. So Higuri continues to escape with Kota and uses her Grand Air Rupture spell to protect the baby. Kota is impressed with her ninjutsu as he has never seen one like hers before. However, she still seems helpless in front of the monsters since there are so many of them. As one monster is about to attack, fairies appear and stop the vicious creature from pouncing. One of the fairies tells the monster that it should back down from hunting their prey. The bug immediately leaving the fairy laughing. She looks at Hagri with vicious eyes, calling her callous for setting foot again in the forest. In an instant, the fairy transforms into a malevolent creature. The other fairies transform as well, and they turn their eyes to Coda, who is now visibly excited after seeing another strange creature. The monster fairies demand that Harry hand over the baby or she will be devoured. However, to their surprise, Coda easily grabs them and feels them. Fascinated by their peculiarity, Higuri is confused and shocked at the same time and warns Coda about angering the vicious elf. However, seeing him enjoying himself, Higuri can't help but be happy and glad for him. She sheds tears, seeing him far from his lonely past. Angered, the monster fairies attack Coda, swearing to punish him for what he did by making him unable to move. They then discharge poison needles, directing them at the baby. To everyone's astonishment, Coda catches the needles mid-air, leaving the monster fairy stunned. In a swift motion, he hurls the needles back at them, effortlessly annihilating his enemies. The monster fairies fall one by one, receiving fatal impact from Coda. They can't believe they are easily defeated by a human. Coda can't help but react violently when faced with killing intent because it completely ruins his good mood. However, because he is in a baby's body, the attack he did takes a toll and he becomes sleepy. Just then, a poison needle is hurled in his direction and Higuri saves him just in time, injuring herself in the process. She helplessly falls to the ground, trembling from the impact. Meanwhile, the monster fairy viciously laughs, seeing her suffering. Just then, the king of fairies, Elva, appears and greets Higuri. The fairy king demands that she hand over Coda, so she will be recognized as one of the 10 demons. Higuri can't believe that Elva is collaborating with the demon kin, but the fairy king only dismisses her and ruthlessly pulls a weapon out of her mouth, declaring that she won't take any orders from the elf kin. She then unleashes a powerful attack toward Higuri, which she dodges just in time. Infuriated, she prepares for her next attack using her concentrated venom that can corrode everything. Looking at Coda, Hagrid vows to protect him and never hand him over to Elva, touching the green pendant of her necklace. The Fairy King then unleashes her Grand Dance Sword technique, wanting to finish Higuri in one quick move. However, to her surprise, Coda effortlessly blocks her attack using his finger. For Coda, it is a strange feeling since for the first time, he can't abandon someone. Witnessing how he easily deflects her attack, Elva now understands why the Demon King wants the baby. Because he is no ordinary child, Coda finds his new body inconvenient since he has too little stamina and can't use his ninjutsu technique to its fullest. So instead, he uses his finger-severed technique and cuts the Fairy King's body into pieces. Helvet is shocked by what happened, that she is easily defeated by a baby. As he is about to finish her, Higuri intervenes, telling Coda to spare her. Confused, Elder asks for a reason, and Higuri admits that she wants to save her, remembering that fairies and elves used to live together once upon a time. Back then, they lived together in the forest that was called the Forest of the Giant Tree. It was a bountiful land that was governed by the Elf King and the Fairy King, who formed an alliance. The elves led the forest using their wisdom, while the fairies protected the land using their combat prowess. However, the elves used the fairies, who were inferior to them in intelligence. Soon, the two races developed hatred and disdain toward each other, and war broke out between them. At that time, Higuri was still young and powerless and couldn't do anything. Looking at her, Coda remembers his past and how he was used as well, realizing that the consequences are just the same in both worlds. Despite this, Higuri maintains kindness in her heart, which impresses him. However, he is taken aback upon hearing from her that the war broke out 100 years ago, which means she is older than him. Meanwhile, Elva sneers, telling her that it's an old tale that hurts her ears by now. With a devilish smile, she declares that her poison should have circulated through Hagrid's body, and soon she will meet her demise. She further transforms, turning her appearance into that of a demon fairy. She wishes nothing but to kill an elven princess like Hagrid to avenge her kind. Hagrid pleads with her to stop the meaningless killings, telling her that it will only destroy her in the end. But Elva refuses to listen, recalling that she was once a princess too during the war, but because of the elven race, she was robbed of her glory. Now seeing Higuri must be fate, and she must kill her to alleviate the Fairy King's regrets. She then unleashes her contract seal with the Demon Lord, which leaves Higuri in utter disbelief since it means she formed a partnership with the Demon Lord. In a flashback, young Elva and Harry talked about the never-ending conflict in the world among different races. Wondering why they couldn't just live in harmony, Elva questioned whether their races might someday face the same terrible fate. Full of kindness and innocence, young Elva assured Higuri that their great forest would be safe and that they would always remain friends. This comforted Higuri and brought a smile to her face. She was glad to have a friend like Elva. In the present, Elva, now fully transformed into her demon form, attempts to attack Hagrid. Meanwhile, the elf has no choice but to use her secret weapon to save her friend. Elva charges toward her, vowing to crush her into pieces, and unleashes her Fairy King Grand Dance Sword technique. After successfully hurling her power in Higuri's direction, she rejoices, only to realize that her enemy has survived. Higuri has transformed into her warrior form, gaining wings. Elva is shocked as Hygri was believed to have lost her powers. Using her divine energy, Hygri heals herself and expels the poison from her body. Koda is astonished. His body feels light and his sleepiness vanishes after being blessed by the high-level spell. Elva recognizes the divine power and finds it unbelievable that Hygri still possesses her old abilities from when she was a great sage. Determined to save her friend, Hygri declares that she will bring Elva back and uses her freezing sacred stigmata technique on her. A blinding light envelops Elva and she is soon returned to her former self as a fairy princess. She is finally freed and no longer bound to anything. Hygri wants to bring her back because they are friends. Tears rolled down Elva's face as fragments of their genuine friendship from 100 years ago returned to her memory. She had been tainted by the war and grief and was eventually influenced by the demons to join their malevolent cause. Koda, with an innocent look on his face, reaches out to Elva, trying to comfort her. Elva slowly extends her hand, attempting to touch the babies, but in an instant, her life is attacked by another demon mocking her incompetence. The 10th demon, Apru, appears and leaves Elva incapacitated in an instant, stating that the demon seal caused her body to go haywire. Angered, Hygri unleashes her power and uses her karmic inferno annihilation spell, causing utter destruction. She encloses Elva and Koda within a protective barrier. Surprisingly, Apru takes no injuries from the attack and ends up only being covered in dirt. Hygri is shocked that even her strongest fire spell failed to scratch the demon. With this, Apru becomes fired up and launches an attack on Hygri. The elf casts a barrier spell to protect herself, enclosing herself within a boulder. To retaliate, Apru uses her exploding demon fist, shattering the barrier. Ready to defend herself, Hygri counter-attacks Apru with her sacred freezing stigmata. The demon barely dodges the spell and mockingly praises the strongest sage of the elfkin. However, suddenly, Hygri's magical power is depleted, putting her at a severe disadvantage against the demon. A prowess nears, calling her pathetic for losing all her magic so quickly and suggests that her power had been sealed in the magic stone, that she only temporarily accessed it. But she says it doesn't matter since Hygri will die anyway. Apru taunts her with the same words she spoke to the fairy king earlier. Is she truly fine with bearing the regrets of her comrades? The cries of the dead? Shouldn't she be angry? Let all her negative emotions flow and join the demon kinchads that the demon lord would be pleased to accept her into their army. Apru lets out a devious laugh, mocking her further by saying she was only toying with her because she's foolish and belongs to a race that's only ever used as pawns. Hygri rides in anger, accusing the demon of toying with her best friend. Apru laughs again, enjoying the agony etched across Hygri's face. Amused by the hateful look on the elf's face, Apru is excited to send her to the grave. Meanwhile, Hygri grits her teeth, seething with anger and cursing the demon. With her face as spiteful as ever, the ogre compels her to scream loud as she winds her arms to gather power. She charged in, launching her ironclad fist at the target and letting a barrage of punches rain down. However, Koda stepped in, precisely blocking, deflecting, and finally catching each strike. To their surprise, they find the elf unharmed with the human baby holding the demon's fist. As Apru struggles to comprehend what happened, he uses ninjutsu with a menacing glare. Instincts kick in, but instead of running, her body is consumed by fear. Koda uses redirection, blasting the powerless Juma's body apart, so much so that little of her was left after. She succumbed to redirection, a ninjutsu which releases energy stored in the body. Hygri is stunned speechless, amazed by what she saw. Killing was everything to him. He killed his own being and countless enemies. He's taken down all those in his path because he is a ninja with no emotions. However, for the first time, he felt a strong desire against losing the girl with him. The ninja wonders if he's sympathizing with someone who's in a similar situation. As affection, compassion, sadness, and grief entered his body, he couldn't help but tear up, realizing that he might have a human heart as well. That said, Apu was once again on the ground, seeming to have somehow regenerated from the ninjutsu. She laughs in disbelief and curiously asks how his attack managed to strike through the demon lord's blessing. The only answer is for Koda's attack to originate from a different dimension, which pierces the contract seal. The demon pushes herself up, acknowledging the boy's strength. Having regenerated enough, she uses a full recovery spell and within seconds, reappears with a completely healthy and full-powered body. Captivated, she drools, saying she's fallen for him. She recalls the glint in his eyes, which can only belong to someone who's buried countless lives. Moreover, belong to someone who understands despair, loneliness, and hatred. In other words, he belongs with them as a kindred spirit whose sanity has been shattered by suffering. The demon invites him to join them and rules the world. Hearing her, Koda realizes that this world is no different from his in which the strong control the weak. He has no interest in such world. Rejected, she empowers her entire body, pushing size and power past its limits. Determined to bring him back, she says she's ready to do so with him on the brink of death. The demon towers over him and exudes a fighting spirit worthy of a member of the Juma. Summoning her full power, Apru pulls her arm back and launches the exploding demon fist at the baby, intending to make him submit by cementing the difference in their power. Higui tries to stop it, believing that the child will have no chance regardless of how oddly strong he is. However, Kota catches the fist with one hand just as he did earlier. The strike freezes and the baby's arm trembles from the force. Appu is shocked, unable to believe what was happening. Once more, the ninja uses redirection and blasts the demon's entire body into nothingness. It took a lot more effort this time, but he powered through with his hate of all those who dominate others. This time, the redirection is powerful enough to clear the land and bore across the terrain. That said, Kota's tiny body is unable to handle the strain and the baby wobbles out of exhaustion. Fortunately, Higui is there to cradle him in her arms, hugging him tight. She thanks the child for saving them and encourages him to rest well. Comforted and reassured, he closed his eyes. Meanwhile, Elva chuckled at the sight. Barely hanging on to life, she expresses how amazed she is by the human. To obliterate a member of the Juma in one blow is nothing short of incredible. Seeing that she's alive, Higui rushes to her side, wanting to heal her friend. However, the Fairy King stops her, saying it's no use. She's lived too long, and now that she's lost the power of the contract, her body will decay. As expected, the fairies can't defeat the elves despite trying to obtain more than they deserved. Elva tells her friend to leave, warning her that pursuers will soon arrive to capture the baby. Since speed will be a problem, she leaves her Higui with a parting gift, equipping her feet with fairy boots and S-rank equipment, which triples speed and averts detection by allowing levitation. Floating up, the elf's body feels light. If they have nowhere to go, they are advised to head to the east of the forest beyond the Warlord Mountains and into Hydra. As she knows, it's the only stronghold left in the world, which continues to resist the occupation of Domincan. Fading away, Elder says they are seeking strong individuals from all around the world. With Kota by her side, she might have a chance. Understanding her sentiments, Hygris says she's getting the wrong idea. She and the baby are party members, friends, and equals who help each other like the fairies and elves once were. Recalling their dream, she promises to make it a reality. One day, she will create a peaceful world where no one dominates anyone else. The last thing Elva sees is her friend's warm and reassuring smile. She looks just like she did back when they were children. With this, the fairy disintegrates with a smile and her ashes flew into the wind. While she might not witness it, she will look forward to that day. Higui sheds tears for her beloved, hoping she finds peace in death. On the other hand, somewhere in the forest, traces of a Prue were left on the ground. Mustering all her power, she manages to regenerate from the crest on her neck. Panting and gasping for air, even she is surprised by her survival. She struggles to comprehend the baby who nearly killed her by deflecting her fully powered attack. Just then, a sinister and chilling voice expressed disappointment, sending chills down her spine. The ogre was picked up and given power when her clan was annihilated by humans. The crest around her neck tightened, strangling the poor demon. Unfortunately, lower species like her proved to be disappointing weaklings. A prude begs in tears, saying she's tormented countless and can continue to do so under the Lord's name. Her eyes roll back and she falls to the ground, unmoving and rigid. After having the life sucked out of her body by a nearby tree, a dark wisp appeared and spiraled. Azarus, a member of the Juma, appeared saying he'll take all the credit. Higri is on the run through a forest. Her eyes are intense. Her fairy boots make every step she takes glow and spark. She's just about to exit the forest. She suddenly stops just as she exits. Just a few steps more, the grassy terrain changes into a rocky one. The elf is relieved that she is near their target location. Kota is waking up. His eyes widen at the new location. Higui tells him that they have arrived at Warlord Mountain. The location is filled with damaged terrain, craters and fire. She explains that it is where the Demon Lord battled the hero's party, and that the battle with the Demon Kin in the area is never ending to this day. Somewhere else in the Warlord Mountains, a swordsman just got defeated by a jackal demon. The warrior falls back to Kota. He is looking beyond the mountain. Hygri explains that the royal capital of Hydra lies beyond. Hygri thinks her friend Mira is still in mountains and is continuing the good fight. She tells Kota that the people of Hydra are desperate for strong people like him. The baby absorbed her words. He absorbs them well. Elsewhere in the mountains, a battle creates a gigantic explosion. A party of human warriors is facing a team of demons. The monsters are frustrated that the humans just won't die. One swordsman is charging at the demons despite being filled with wounds. As he attacks them, a priest tries to heal the one who has fallen before. She focuses all her power on her fallen comrade's wound. It is slowly disappearing. The fallen warrior tries hard to tell a priest that they need to last a little longer until reinforcement arrives. The demons see the priest healing her companion, so they all want to get her. They dash towards her all at once. The priest worries. Suddenly, the monster gets chopped up in front of her. Her eyes show her shock. A glimpse of a battle sword can be seen. A woman with cat ears is holding these swords as she stands victorious over the demons she just preyed on. Looking closely, the woman is muscular with huge swords in both her hands. The party of women feels relieved that they are saved. They recognize the tough cat woman as one of the four great heroes, Mira. Mira's face looks perpetually angry, and she has a scar on her left eye. Her eyes only look angrier by the second. She is frustrated by the stink of demons everywhere. It makes her want to execute every last demon. The remaining demons in front of them fear her and her title as one of the four great heroes. Mira sees them and gets even more pissed off. She dashes towards them. In an instant, she ends their lives. Meanwhile, Hygri is traveling the land. Her eyes are determined to get to the capital. She does not realize that she has passed through where Mira is. Mira catches a new scent. The scent tells her that someone deadly is nearby. She sees Hygri in the distance, not yet realizing it is her friend. She has never smelled anyone more deadly than the one she is smelling right now. To her, the scent is like a sign of me, you're about to destroy them all. Believing it must be a demon, Mira goes in the direction of the scent with killing intent. She closed her distance towards Hygri in an instant. Her swords are ready to thrust. She stops her blade just as she realizes she is pointing it at Hygri. She is confused about what she is doing in the mountains. A distance away in the mountains, trouble is brewing. A shadow-like figure rises from the side of a hill. It is Asura who is tracking Hygri and Koda. The demon looks at the Warlord Mountains. He sees all of the corpses in the area and he thinks it makes the place his ideal battleground. He remembers how powerful the baby was when he faced off with a Prue and reminds himself not to underestimate the child. Asura is excited that it will be his moment to slaughter the elf and the baby. Hagrid backs away from Mira's blades. The elf is glad to see her since it has been a while. Mira asks her why she is in the mountain. The cat girl then looks down. She sees that Hagrid has a baby with her. She focuses on the baby. Mira ponders why the elf has a human child with her. Koda is suddenly on top of Mira's head and is excited to play with her ears, much to the woman's annoyance. She shouts at the baby to stop what he is doing. She is confused as to why the child wants to be on her head so much. She grabs Koda, then she slams him to the floor. Hygri panics and goes to Koda. Multiple towers suddenly rise up from the ground. Looking closely, they are made of bones and skulls. Mira and Hygri are confused about what is happening. In the distance, Asura is laughing. He is glad that the battlefield has been a location of war for hundreds of years. He knows that this means there are thousands of corpses he can control. With his hand stretched out, he activates a necromancy spell. This leads the towers to attack the women and baby. Asura is confident that everything is going to be easy. He finds it funny that he is controlling human corpses to kill one of their own. The towers are getting near the trio. The corpses of the towers are aggressively trying to reach them. Mira destroys these towers. She sees the pieces of the corpses fly in the air. Seeing them desecrated angers the Catwoman. She feels like the demons always reach a new low. She makes powerful slashes with her swords. The slashes reach the ground. The slashes are so powerful. She created 3 long pit openings. More towers of corpses rise. Hygri looks at them with fear. She can tell that this will never end. Even Koda is looking at the towers with awe. Mira cuts off the towers again. She searches for the one who is attacking them. She then screams comically. She gets annoyed as she sees Koda hanging on her tail. The baby looks so happy feeling the fluffiness of her tail. Mira slams him to the ground again. Meanwhile, Astra moves into the battlefield. He materializes tendrils from his shadowy body, all reaching out to his enemies. They are getting near the women without them knowing. The demon brags that his tendrils can pierce through anything. They go nearer to the women. Azurus's scent makes Mera look behind her. The demon mocks the Catwoman for simply being a toy for his kind. His comment infuriates the lady. He tells the truth that the demon lord can destroy Hyrat in a single night if he wants to. Mera uses her blades on Azurus' tendrils. She is surprised to see her blades break from hitting them. The ends of his swords are flying through the air. She can't believe what just happened. Something gets in front of Mera. She realizes that it is Koda, and he is now floating in the air. The baby is in a meditation hand gesture and is in deep concentration. It makes Mera realize that the scent she sensed before came from the baby. Now she sees Koda as something dangerous. Koda is looking intently at Asura's spell and thinks it is so mundane. He focuses on his ninjutsu. He activates the Fuma technique summoning from the underground. The ninjutsu of the Fuma clan surpasses ordinary techniques that no other ninja clan comes close to their godly power. Some can even enter the realm between life and death, and those that do are considered monsters. Not only are the Fuma techniques deadly, they are also as vast as the spirits of the dead. Koda retches Azaz's tentacles near him and his friends. The powerful baby addresses the sleeping souls of the land. He drops his sacrificial bodily fluid, the drops of it fall, until it reaches the earth. Koda names his technique summoning from the underworld. A tower of red bursts from the ground, and the energy is so powerful that it reaches the sky. On top of the energy flow is darkness materializing. Asura is shocked by the figure materializing. The shadows of a figure that emerges look demonic with a hint of giant bat-like wings. Its frightening eyes open. Slowly, its corpse-like facade turns to live skin. Tremendous power radiates from this figure. Mira wonders what is happening. Her eyes widen at the slow realization of who the figure is. Hygri is just as shocked. The figure's bat wings spread. Black horns are visible from its head. It has green hair and elf-like pointy ears. This person wears robes that move like living shadows. Asura is at the peak of shock. His tendrils stop just before they hit the new figure's body. The figure stands in front of Koda and his friends. Asura is frustrated and demands to know what the figure is. He does not want to believe who he is looking at. Mira and Hygri are equally as baffled. They recognize the figure as the former demon lord, Sarvain. Koda, in contrast, is just happy to see a new friend. Everyone is frozen still, trying to process what is going on. Asura is in denial that he is looking at the previous demon lord. Mira is just as hung up on it. She knows her as the demon lord they only somehow miraculously defeated 100 years ago. She cannot process that he is alive again. The mighty Survey kneels before Koda. He asks what he needs to do as if the baby is his master. Koda does not know what to say. Mira and Hygri realize in shock that his appearance is Koda's doing. They are trying to process that the former demon lord is submissive before the baby. Asura is still in denial. He can't believe that the baby resurrected the demon lord, nor does he want to believe that he is obedient to the child. He screams no. As he charges to attack, he is so angry he intends to kill the brat in full power. The demon materializes his long limb consisting of thousands of insect limb bones bound together. He declares that he will kill the baby as well as the former demon lord. The ground cracks under Sarvain. Giant insect bone limbs come out of it and trap the former lord within their grip. Meanwhile, Asura is swinging his new weaponized arm towards him. Sarvain merely touches the weapon with a pointing finger. The Miak stops the giant tower of a limb in its tracks. Asura is shocked to see his most powerful attack extinguished without effort. Sarvain snaps his finger. With a snap, he says Asura is annoying. Powerful energy counters toward Asura. It reduces the demon into dust. It also changes the landscape behind Sarvain, destroying even the distant mountains. What he did was nothing to the former demon lord that he does not even look behind to see what his action has done. He continues to ask Koda what he wishes. The baby innocently claps and cheers. Hygri still can't believe that one of the 10 demons was killed with no effort. She is slowly believing that Koda has the power to summon a demon lord and make him his subordinate. Mira demands to know from Hygri who the baby is. It occurs to her that the baby was the seed of hope the elf was trying to find all along. Hygri smiles at her. She confirms that Koda is the world's last hope. The cat woman is left speechless. Sarvain looks at his surroundings. He sees that the wallowed mountains are filled with destruction. He sees the corpses of demons all over the area. The former demon lord realizes that things have changed since the century he was defeated. He looks at Mira and sees she has also not changed. The marks of battle only confirm to him that the world is still the same. Mira is agitated by his comment. She shouts that it is because of him and his demon kind that the world is a mess. Sarvain does not see it that way. He comments that it is Mira's kind who originally ruled the world before. This silences the cat lady. Sarvain remembers the oppression of his people and how he longed to free them from it since he was a child. Since he was born the strongest among the demons, he felt responsible for them. However, as he kneels before Koda, he knows his past feelings no longer matter. He asks again what his new master wants from him. He ponders if he will ask him to fight for him as is familiar. The baby thinks about it, then he smiles. In Koda's mind, he does not want to dominate anyone. He struggles to say dominate. With an innocent cheerful smile, the baby tells him he hates domination and that he is free. Sarvain and the others are shocked and confused. The former demon lord looks in disbelief too and does not see why the baby is doing this. She looks at Hygri. She sees that the elf is crying because she is so happy to see Koda speaking. She grabs the baby, then she hugs him, thinking he did the right thing since she too does not like domination. Sarvain bursts out laughing. He finds Koda to be unusual. The baby makes happy noises towards the demon lord. Seven processes what he is trying to say. He asks if the child wants him to come with him. Koda continues to make happy noises. The former demon lord thinks about it. There is a sudden crackling loud noise that quakes the ground. They wonder what is happening. The ground is cracking beneath them. A force rises from the ground. They are like giant tentacles. They are so long and big that they are like mountain. Seven looks on. As the rising ends, the new landscape that has risen looks like two giant hands with their fingers all pointing at the sky. At a distance, it is like someone has reached out their hands to the sky. Serving Hygri and the others are standing at one of the palms. Hygri asks if Koda is okay, but the baby is just cheering at the experience. Myra asks what it is this time that is going on. Servan looks on. They see that all Doom 10 demons are on each fingertip. They are watching them from above as if to judge them. Myra hates how much she is smelling demons everywhere. Above the sky is a giant eye of flame looking at everyone below it like a god. Kiri and the others look to their enemies above. She glances at his face. His presence makes Hagri uncomfortable. The 10 demons take a glimpse of Servain. The former demon lord looks back. One of the demons laughs. He finds it amusing that 2 within the 10 demons have been defeated. He comments on how the series of events has been entertainment for their lord. This armored creature is the number 3 of the Gemutant demons, Zenova. Hoda is getting even sleepier. He curses his baby's body since he can't move right now. Mira is angered by the demons' comment that they are merely entertainment. She dashes at Zenova as she accuses them of looking down on them. She shouts that she will kill them. Meanwhile, a finger activates a spell. The spell rushes towards Myra. Suddenly, a huge chunk of the Catwoman's body has disappeared. Myra looks down at her body, utterly confused. The attacker is revealed to be a 3-headed demon with green skin, and he is Doom 10 Demons number 4, Dapuru. Hygri worries for Myra's well-being. Until now, the Catwoman does not understand what just happened. She then suddenly gets encased in ice. Mira is still conscious within her prison. The one who froze her is laughing and thinks the Catwoman's frozen state is a beautiful art exhibit. The ice demon is Gemutant Demons number 7, Hildark. Hygri is looking at Mira's frozen state. She has no words and is standing still herself. She is then suddenly stomped on by a giant foot of beast, making her drop Kodo while her body is strapped with its heel. It is revealed that a giant black wolf is on top of her, and riding in is a little girl with a red hood that puts her smiling face within a shadow. They are Jumas number 8, April and Gallon. Hygri is worried that she can't reach Koda. The baby gets thrown farther from the elf. He stumbles until the baby's body stops. He lands right next to Servain. The former demon lord looks at the child. A figure dashes towards Servain from behind. Servain senses the attack coming. He blocks the figure with the giant sword. Servain vaguely recognizes his attacker. The attacker is revealed to look human, but with glowing red eyes that make him look like he is in a trance. He is Juma's number 2, also known as the hero Arslav. Hygri looks at him. He calls his name with sadness. He remembers when they were still comrades in the hero's party. She fears that the only way save him is to end his life. Meanwhile, someone has grabbed Servain by the shoulder. Servain notices too late. The one that got near him has a third eye on his forehead that looks like it is in flames. He is the current demon lord Jura. Sarvain looks at the face of his successor. Jura sarcastically apologizes to Sarvain for how powerful his magic is. Sarvain grows into a monster from his right arm. His eyes look determined to fight. Hygri is still stuck under the wolf's heel and worries there are no means to win. She believes that despite the former demon lord being on their side, they will still end up defeated. She thinks of a way to at least save Koda, who is currently sleeping on the floor. Meanwhile, Servain is activating spells against Azlad and the demon lord. He activates 3 powerful spells at once. Hygri recognizes them as the 3 most powerful spells of their attributes. She never thought it was ever possible for anyone to do 3 of them at once. She remembers when Servain defeated Azraz and realizes it was more than just luck. She can't believe they defeated him 100 years ago. She came to fear him again. Servain throws all his powerful spells towards his 2 opponents. The landscape changes even more. Parts of the giant hand have been destroyed to nothing. Still, Azlad and Jura remain without a scratch on them. Sarvan is shocked to see his attack had no effect. Jura is impressed by his power. He reveals that he is a demon god that no demon can match. Sarvan is intrigued that he is a god. Seeing the demon lord unharmed only confirms to Hygri that they stand no chance, and they become convinced that Koda is their only hope. She is desperate to reach the baby. Koda opens his eyes, but is barely awake. He tries to reach her with his little arm. He hates that he is so weak within a baby's body. He feels guilty he can't save Hygri since she saved him so many times. He looks at the elf. Hygri smiles at him. The elf tears up and reminds Koda not to forget her. Koda is listening. Servain looks at the child. Hygri plans to use the last of his magic at once. She channels all of it through her palm. She calls it a flash spell. A bright light suddenly engulfs the area. Both generations of demon lords are caught off guard. While everyone is distracted by the light, Hygri tells Servain to take Koda and leave so that the child can change the world on another day. Servain listens. He remembers how the baby told him he is free. He uses his tail to grab Koda, then he flies away from the giant hand. From the distance, he sparkles like a star. One of the 10 demons hates that he left when she wanted to play with him. This woman is Juma's number 6, Rangris. One of the demons likes that he left. This red demon is Juma's number 5, Igni, and he wishes to show off how fast he is by catching him. His lord tells him to wait. He is more interested in drawing the child to them instead of using their new prisoners. He plans to make Hygri and Mira the 2 new members of Juma 10 demons. The last demon lasts. He tells his lord that it is a brilliant idea. He is revealed to be a little slime monster, Juma's number 1 slime. Sylvain flies through the air with great speed. He is so fast. He left the land and went into the vast sea in an instant. In the grip of his tail is Coda, sleeping soundly. The baby feels the breeze of the air. His eyes open. He sees the vastness of the sea with the sun in the sky. He gets excited that he is flying. He cannot contain his joy. He deems the experience wonderful. He asks Sylvain how far the world extends and what lies beyond the horizon. The man tells him that it is a boring world. The baby replies that he does not see it that way and thinks it is incredibly exciting. To him, the world is freedom. Sylvain continues to fly with great speed. He can tell from the child's unique abilities and curiosity that he came from a different world. He focuses on his word of freedom and how he too feels free for the first time. He asks if he is still curious about what lies beyond the horizon. He explains that there is a place called the Dragon Nest and that it is a floating island that demons avoid. There is also an abyss where legendary weapons and treasure reside, but no one has ever returned there. There is also the world tree that pierces the heavens. Sylvain says that even a demon lord like him has not explored the entirety of the world because of its vastness. The baby now wants to go to all the places. Sylvain says they are now going to the Tower of Time, where time can be freely manipulated. He comments that his body is his weakness. Coda can't deny it. He replies that he feels shame that he could not save Hygri and Mira. He hopes that the 2 of them are not in danger. The former demon lord believes they must be dead by now. Coda corrects him since he heard the 10 demons' conversation. He remembers Jura telling his subordinates that they would turn the elf and the cat lady into one of them to lure Coda to them. He remembers it clearly with his super hearing despite being asleep at the time. Sylvain smiles. The former demon lord flies without stopping through the night. He reaches the white tower floating in the sky known as the Tower of Time. He lands on its platform. He tells the baby that this is as far as he goes. He puts Kotaro down. The baby tells him that he enjoyed spending time with him. His words make the former demon lord embarrassed. He avoids eye contact with the child, yet he tells him that he too loves that he is free. Coda looks at him. Sylvain asks that he stopped calling him Demon Lord since he hates domination. He wants him to call him Sylvain like they are friends. The demon then quickly flies away. Coda bids him goodbye and asks that he fly him again next time. While he is busy waving at Sylvain, a figure comes out of the tower. This figure saw the former Demon Lord leave and can't believe it. He remembers when he looked so terrifying 100 years ago. He ponders if he looks so much kinder now because of the child. The man has a metallic orb for a head, and he is wearing robes that cover his robotic body. He is one of the 4 great heroes, the magic golem, Bibai. Bibai explains to Coda that the Tower of Time was not always in the sky. He says that many people came to the tower to restore their youth. Killings began to monopolize the tower, so he lifted the tower into the sky and became its guardian. Coda is intrigued by him. He also says that it was Azlad who suggested he become the tower's protector. He felt happy back then because it gave his eternal lifespan a purpose. His speech about his past is interrupted as the baby is on top of his oval head and keeps slapping it. Bibai pleads with him to stop it. Coda tells him he is wearing a weird hat. The golem kicks the baby off of him. He tells the child that he is rude. Bib demands to be listened to as the administrator of the tower. He continues to say that he is the first one he ever encountered who wants to get older using the tower. Coda asks what he needs to do to use the tower. Bibai replies that it will depend on him. Coda is suddenly on top of his head again, hitting him over and over. They enter the tower. Inside, the baby walks in darkness. He asks why it is so dark. The golem is by the tower door, and he only tells him good luck. Coda wonders what he means. Suddenly, a large arcane magic circle appears beneath the baby's feet. Coda looks at it with curiosity. Light engulfed his body. He is forced to relive his past when he was a boy who had just slaughtered many ninjas. Coda begs not to relive his past. He finds that he is in front of the Hojo head genin. The old man and his ninjas are testing the boy and are impressed that it is only he and another who have survived a trial. Coda faces this survivor. She is a girl who looks like Coda and is just about the same age as him at this time. The Hojo ninjas tell them that they must face each other to the death to become the leader. Coda lays down his sword. His opponent asks what he is doing. Coda tells him that she is the only one he can't kill. The girl tells her that unlike him who still has his heart, she will not show mercy. The girl disappears from her spot. She reappears right behind Kodo, all ready to pull out her sword. Kodo braces for it. His face is filled with shock. He just realized he already pierced girl's body with his bare hands. The girl is impressed and says he is fit to be the next leader of Fuma. Kota realizes that the girl only said she would show mercy to motivate him to end her. The girl says she needs no compassion as they are merely blades to be used and that she deserves to die because she could not kill in return. Kota is a crisis for her. His tears fall to the ground. The girl says that it is a mystery that he is the strongest when it is he who has not let go of his heart. She accepts that not giving up his heart must be the very reason that he is strong. They both remember that they had happy days hoping for freedom. They spent time together on a mountain top looking at the vast land and sky. The girl's eyes closed. Her hands are unmoving. Kotaro can't control the tears flowing out of him. He tells himself the girl and that he never forgot their dream together of freedom. He regretted that he became an old man who thought that dream was impossible. He remembered when he was executed. He decides that now is the time to enjoy his freedom for both of them. She says that he will enjoy it for her sake as well. The arcane circle continues to glow. Through the light, the figure of a naked boy can be glimpsed. Kota comes out of the process with a teenager's body. Dubai comments that he did splendidly in the trial. He sees that he is worthy of living again because he overcame his despair. He reveals that the Tower of Time can only be used by those who can overcome their deepest wounds. The golem is not surprised since Kota is spoken so highly of by Hagrid. Kota smiles. He is confident that he will save Hagrid with his new body. Kota is now in a young boy's body. Both his chest and legs look strong. He is glad to know that his body won't be holding him back anymore. His eyes grow excited for other possibilities. He moves his arms around, relishing how easy it is to move around now that he is neither a baby nor an old man. He jumps and jumps to feel how flexible and strong he is. With a big smile, he feels like life is truly fascinating. Dubai thinks he is weird for moving around so much when he is naked. He ponders if he should provide the kid with equipment. Kota is now twice Bibai's size as he pats his head and tells him he will play with him again next time. The golem looks at him as the boy pats his head. Kota makes known his intention to travel. Bibai remembers how the boy was hitting his head as a baby a moment ago. He then remembers Aslad as a boy patting his head and telling him they will play again next time like Kota just did. It makes the golem realize that Aslad was worried that he would be alone in the Tower of Time. Meanwhile, Kota has jumped off the tower while yelling to Bibai that he will see him soon. The boy is so reckless that it reminds the golem more that he is like Aslath. He hopes that Kota will not die. Meanwhile, Kota is falling from the sky with joy. He yells out that nothing is binding him now. He shouts that he is free, that he has goals now and can live for himself. He then sees the skull of a serpentine creature under him, and it is so huge that its head is practically an island. He panics that the land level is closer than he thinks. He then uses ninjutsu to make his landing silent. He lands on a horn and ponders if he is already at ground level. He realizes that the corpse is still high above the skyline and that its spine is so long that reaches the ground. He realizes that he needs to climb down the spine. He then notices something sticking out near him. He sees that it is a sword stuck on the bone ground that is the head. He pulls it out and decides to keep it because it looks beautiful. He notices his reflection on the blade. He realizes that his face now looks the same as it did in his past. He remembers how he looked like a hopeless killer back then. He ponders why he was reborn. He remembers how the hand of a god intervened when he died. He wonders why he has all his memories and ninjutsu even as a baby. He tells himself that there is no use thinking about it. He starts his fast run. He climbs down the spine at great speed. Even more below is a group of young friends climbing. They are getting tired and hope they get to the top soon. The leader, Act, thinks they are not even halfway there, yet his determination to climb up is not deterred despite the other two being all complaints. All Act can think of is the glory of attaining the legendary Dragon Slayer sword. He yells at his friends for complaining so much. The two do not care and keep complaining that they just want to go home. Act does not want to go home, declaring that he will become a true hero with the dragon sword in his hands. The corpse then vibrates. A foot of a demon lands at the spot they are in. The demon walks towards them. The demon is revealed to be a giant in red knight armor. The demon is angry that they dare to take the dragon sword. The three kids are scared that they are about to die. The demon gives them the choice of either dying by his hands, jumping off the spine, or becoming his slave. Act chooses to be his slave without hesitation. Kota suddenly drops from above. The clueless boy with a sword says, "Everyone." The demon is shocked to see him holding the dragon sword. The kids are equally baffled with the girl of the group covering her eyes since the mystery boy is naked. It is inconceivable for Act to see a human not only fall from above, but also have the dragon sword. Kota happily tells him that he just picked it up. He tells Act that he can have it if he wants it, shocking the ambitious hero wannabe. Kota's condition for letting him have it is his clothes. In the next panel, Act is already naked with only the sword as his cover, while Kota is wearing his clothes. Kota is excited that he is finally wearing clothes. The demon behind the kids starts laughing. He declares that he is lucky. He feels blessed that the dragon sword has been delivered to him. As his gigantic hand nears them, he demands that they hand the sword over. Kota looks at the demon knight with killer intent. His simple gaze slices through the monster. The demon gets split into 2 pieces and falls off the spine. Meanwhile, the dragon sword is near Kota's neck. Kota looks at his attacker. It is revealed to be Act. The boy looks like he is possessed as he declares that he will cut everyone into pieces. His friends worry about what is wrong with him. They realize that the sword took hold of him since only the strong-willed can hold it. Act is laughing maniacally while he swings the sword. Kota takes the sword from him with no problem. Act lies on the ground confused. Kota realizes he needs to be responsible for the sword. He declares that he should keep it. Later, Act wakes up. He is confused about what happened. His friends tell him about how he has gone mad because of the dragon sword and how the mysterious boy rescued him. The girl is so in love with Kota for having such a will to hold the sword. Meanwhile, Kota reaches land level. He is in a grassy land. He touches the grass with his hands. He can sense the footsteps of the past. He senses that these footsteps are human. He can even tell that these humans faced off with a bear. He decides that he should head in the direction with the most signs of humans. He follows these footsteps in his mind. At the finish line, he finds humanity's last stronghold, Hydra. He senses loud noises near Hyrat. He can tell that it is the sound of a fight. There is a nearby plateau. On this plateau are hundreds of fallen demon wolves. One of them wakes up to still be alive, but suffering. He complains about the impossibility of a human defeating them. This human suddenly crushes him with their foot. This human eats the demon corpses with their bare hands like an animal. A demon companion of the human named Malia asks where they are. It is revealed that Melia is a little innocent-looking girl, and she wears her demon companion like it is clothing. Kota spots her from a distance. He wonders why she and her demon are eating monster meat. Kota is excited he has found some weirdos. Malay's stomach grumbles like a loud sound of beast roaring. It is so loud that Kota is covering his ears. The sound in her stomach does not stop. She complains that she is still hungry. The demon on Malay suggests hunting more wolves in the area. The girl sees Kota in the distance. The boy waves back to her. Kota shares that her eating reminds him of when he used to eat poisonous mushrooms every day to build up a resistance to poison. Kota is suddenly silent. He realizes that Malay is already right in front of him. He is shocked at how fast the girl is that even he did not notice her movement. The girl just stares at him. Her mouth starts to drool. The demon she is wearing sees Kota as food. They ask Malay if they can eat him since he is the first human they ever saw in the world. The demon comments on how they thought they were sent to a world with only wolves, making Kota wonder where they came from. Malay does not reply and is only silent, making the demon worry about what is wrong. The girl says she can't eat innocent people no matter how hungry she is. The demon replies that she should not worry about things like that anymore since they already died once. Kota wonders what they are talking about. He asks if she is a reincarnator just like him. The demon on the girl's body thinks of the word and believes it fits their description. The boy is excited to know that there are others like him and tells Malia that it is nice to meet you. The girl blushes not knowing how to react, but tells him nervously that she is happy to hear it. She suddenly backs away from him and pleads with the boy not to get near her. She fears that she is a monster that would end up eating him. Her words trigger sadness from Kota. He remembers his past when people kept calling him a monster. He smiles at the memory. He tells the girl that it seems that weird reincarnators like them seem destined to meet. With a warm smile and a reaching handshake, Kota tells the girl not to worry because they are both the same. Malay is intrigued by how friendly he is to her. She admits that she feels happy. On instinct, she puts his finger in her mouth. She then backs away and feels guilty that she did it. A giant figure then arrives behind Kota. It's a giant wolf with 4 eyes known as a werewolf, and this demon is pissed off that Malay killed his brothers. Kota can sense the wolf's killing intent, and it puts him on edge. Before he can turn his head around, a figure passes by Kota with lightning speed. It is revealed to be Malay, who is rushing towards the wolf while looking like a child who just spotted a candy bar and can't wait to have the moment she touches the wolf is also the moment the majority of the wolf's body disappears. Kota's eyes sparkle at how interesting the girl seems. He asks for the girl's name with excitement. He tells her his name is Kota. The girl's consciousness becomes one with her demon and they introduce themselves with the alias of Cannibal Hood. In this state, the girl looks like an emotionless killer. Kota notices how there is nothing left of the wolf after she ate him. He tells her that he hopes that they meet again. The girl is frozen by his words. Her face turns red. She answers that she hopes to see him again too and hopes that they can become friends. She remembers her past when she was a man who declared to his enemies that he was fighting to protect his friends. The memory makes her melancholy. She panics and comments on how she might end up eating her friends again, so she tells the boy goodbye. Meanwhile, at the east of the Warlord Mountain near Hydra, there is a city beside a series of abysses, and the city is on fire. In the ruins of this El Rado city, 3 figures with weapons walk. The trio sees an old man who begs for them not to kill him. Those who survived the wreckage ponder why the 3 would destroy their city. They talk about their confusion about why former heroes are acting like this. The 3 are revealed to be a possessed version of Arzlad, Hegri, and Mira. On their necks are the glowing tattoo runes of the demon contract. Koda has arrived at the east near Hydra. He can tell from the destruction that many humans have died. He sees how the city has collapsed along with the Earth's surface. He closes his eyes to concentrate. He focuses on his ears. He hears the screaming of a running child. How the child is being chased down by a demon who is way too eager to take human life. Koda is angered by how many humans have been hunted by demons. He can tell that strong demons are behind this. Behind Koda is Malay hiding by a rock while stalking him. The boy wonders how she has followed him when he has already run 1,500 kilometers. He tells the girl to just come out from where she is hiding. Melia panics that she has been noticed. The demon she is wearing tells her to just be honest and tell the boy she wants to be friends, leading the girl to say that she can't and panics that it is because she will eat him someday. Koda tells her not to worry about it. He assures her that she can't eat him since he is stronger than her. The girl is silenced. She can't believe that there is someone stronger than her. Koda asks that she join him if he wants. He says there is someone he needs to save. Meanwhile, inside El Dorado City, the destruction of the area is more pronounced. 2 green-haired teens are running desperately from something. The boy behind trips. The girl in front gets back for him. She asks the boy, Emil, if he can still stand. Emil feels it's pointless to run since he is sure that even Hirat is in chaos right now. He insists on fighting the demons instead, so his sister tries to stop him. Their argument is silenced when they see their hunter approaching. The hunter turns out to be the 3-headed Dapuru of the Jumar 10 demon. All 3 heads are complaining that he is the one who is cleaning up all the humans after the 3 new members of Jum destroyed the city. He is frustrated that the 3 joined their ranks so easily and is frustrated that a natural demon like him should play second fiddle to them. He decides to let off some steam by having fun killing humans. He points his fingers towards the teens and activates a magic spell. The upper half of the sister suddenly disappears in a flash. Emil is in shock by the sudden death of the sister just beside him. Reaction. Emil's eyes grow cold. He charges at the demon while charging up a spell in his palms. He unleashes flame from his hands, but is so weak that Dapur feels nothing from it. The demon smiles at his pathetic attempt. He readies his own spell intending to end the boy. Emil grinds his teeth. He can't stop cursing his bad luck. Suddenly, the 3-headed smiling demon is caught on fire. The creature is confused by what is happening to him. The flame envelops his body. The kids watch as they see the demon suffer. Koda approaches the scene while telling Dapuru not to die yet since he still has some questions for him. He nears the flaming demon. The demon questions who he is. Koda asks where Hygri and Myra are. The suffering demon asks why he is asking for them. The boy answers that he will tell him, but wants him not to direct his killing intent on him. With an intimidating glare, he warns Dapur that if he directs his killing intent on him, he will end him. Dipur is confused by his declaration. Despite being on fire, he laughs and dares him to try it. With his finger, he winds up his spell. Dipur's spell makes the middle of Koda's body disappear. The boy's body falls. Its 2 pieces lie on the ground. Dipur laughs hard, seeing his opponent be defeated so easily after boasting like a tough guy. Then he feels something on his head that confuses him. Koda's body on the ground slowly disappears. It turns out that the real Koda is now on Dipur's head, and he reveals that he forced the demon to see an afterimage of him. He calls it the Crimson Sight, the ninjutsu designed to confuse the opponent with an afterimage. Dapuru is frustrated that he has just been tricked. The demon readies his claws for attack. He waves his claws towards his head where Koda is. In an instant, Koda is already on the ground in front of the demon to mock him for how slow he is. Dapuru is insulted again. He then attempts to attack him with his claws again. He waves his claws around, yet no matter how many times the demon tries, Koda dodges. The boy is glad that his teenage body puts him back in peak condition. He jumps over Dapuru's heads. He takes a deep breath. With a grind of his teeth, sparks appear. It activates his ninjutsu called Fanfire. Powerful flames engulf Dapuru. The demon is in agony. The flame continues and the demon no longer has enough energy to struggle. Koda is disappointed that he wasted so much time on him and now plans to hurry to Hira. Dapuru tells him that it was the heroes who destroyed the city, not him. Koda is all ears. The demon comments on his demon lord's genius of making the heroes destroy humanity's last territory. He continues that Koda can never break the demon lord's contract seal on the heroes. Koda thinks about the situation. He decides that all he needs to do is end the demon lord to rescue the heroes. Dapur laughs. As he slowly dies, he warns that the demon lord can never be defeated. Dapur disappears into ashes. Koda walks toward Emil. Emil holds the dragon sword and tells its owner that he dropped it. Koda is intrigued. He asks the boy if he is feeling anything strange while holding the sword. Emil is confused about what he means. Koda can clearly see that the boy is holding the sword's handle. Emil asks him how he can be as strong as him. His eyes are filled with regret while he thinks about how he should have protected his sister. He looks at the pieces of his sister's body and curses his fate. Koda sees he is promised. The great ninja smiles. He tells the boy that the sword is his now. The ground suddenly rumbles. Emil worries that there is something coming. Koda looks up. He sees that a giant meteor is falling from the sky. He wonders what it is. Emil tells him that it is what destroyed El Rado City and that this one is falling toward Hydra. He elaborates that it is a meteor spell that only a great sage can use. The meteor continues to fall. Koda instantly realizes that this is Higri's doing. The meteor looks like a boot that is about to stomp on Hydra. Humanity's last stronghold is already on fire even without the meteor. Within its streets, goblins are everywhere, hunting for humans. A knight spots them. He orders other knights to be ready for them. Elsewhere, a child is screaming for his father who is being crushed by a boulder above him. He runs toward him. The father hugs him with his free hand. Something is coming for them. They are the goblins and they are happy to kill any human in their sights. The father fears that this is the end of humanity. The man then sees something in the sky. He sees the meteor in the distance. He wonders what it is. Something runs fast towards Hydra. It is Koda. He is running towards the city while looking at the meteor above. He worries he will not be fast enough to stop the meteor. He activates the ninjutsu called lightning speed. His body gets enveloped in lightning. Even his running feet are filled with them. He turns into lightning. He reaches the city wall and over it. His arrival destroys the goblins near the father and son. He stops right in front of them. The father wonders who Gyu is. He is shocked to see the goblins taken out in an instant. He warns Koda to run since the meteor is coming. Koda turns to him, then he walks towards the father and child. He touches the boulder on top of the injured man. He tells the two not to worry about him. Koda lifts up the boulder with one hand and no effort, shocking the two. Koda finds that his mission changed from going to Herak to saving it without even realizing it. He remembers Hygri's face. He realizes that the elf woman changed him for the better. Koda throws the boulder upwards. He then winds up with a punch enhanced with lightning. He hits the boulder, which sends it flying towards the meteor. The boulder clashes with the meteor, making it explode. The explosion is just on top of Hydra. The father and son are shocked to see the miracle happening. The knights of the city are also in awe. To them, Koda stands in front of the light. He sees the explosion continue. He remembers that Hygri taught him that he is not alone. The father sees Koda as hope. He believes that he is a new hero. The explosion slowly dissipates. On the walls of Hydra is a mysterious hooded figure. This figure stretches out their hand. They activate a magic circle. This figure casts a swarm of meteors. Before they can, Koda appears beside them. The figure turns out to be Hygri. Koda looks at her. Hygri looks back and recognizes Koda. Tears run through her cheeks. The atmosphere is intense between them. She tells him that she is sorry. Koda wonders why. The elf elaborates that she is feeling overflowing hatred. Koda asks what she means. Her mouth looks like it is in pain as she admits that she can't control herself for hating humans. She keeps feeling like she needs to exterminate all of them to relieve herself of torment. She admits that she feels like she is going crazy. Koda deduces that she can't control her emotions because of the contract seal. He approaches Hygri. The elf activates a magic circle and warns him not to get closer or else she will kill him. The woman activates an annihilation spell. She destroys Koda's side of the wall. Even as the wall is already destroyed, she continues blasting. Finally, she stops, leaving the erasure of one side of the wall visible. However, Koda is already behind her. The boy still intends to approach her. Hygri senses him getting near. She activates multiple magic circles for maximum damage. She blasts him with multiple spells that overwhelm the battlefield with cosmic colors. Despite the blast, the battle-damaged looking Koda still approaches her. He tells her that he understands that this is not her fault. The elf feels touched that he does not blame her. Koda thanks her for teaching him so much. He embraces her with warmth. Hygri is shocked. The boy tells her that it will be okay since he will go to the demon lord and free her. Her eyes widen. Tears flow out of it. Something fast is coming. Azlad comes from behind Koda and pierces his sword right through him and Hygri while they are still in an embrace. Both the ninja and the elf feel the pain from the attack. Koda does not stop hugging Hygri. Still, he does not understand what just happened. Despite the wound, Koda stays alive. Azlad sees that he is stronger than any ordinary human. Hygri and Koda still think about each other while being pierced. Someone is near the three. It is revealed to be Myra, ready to attack with her dual giant swords. Her eyes are red, seeing that even Myra is in a trance angers Koda. Koda uses the ninjutsu of finger sever, making his right arm flexible enough to try and reach R-slide behind him. With a wave of his arm, he destroys a chunk of the wall, but still issues R-slide. Koda is disappointed in himself that he got caught off guard. He then realizes that it is because he did not sense any killing intent from the hero. R-slide commends him for still being able to move despite the hole in his chest. Meanwhile, Hagrid magically heals her own wound. It takes a second for her body to be whole again. R-slade says he intends to exterminate Koda along with all of humanity. Mira dashes towards them. Koda sees her coming. The Catwoman tries to slice him. She gets caught off guard that the boy disappears before she could. Koda is no longer on the wall with the three. He reappears in the distance where the three look like ants on the wall to him. It feels difficult for him to anticipate their attacks since they do not radiate any killing intent. He feels like he is fighting dolls. He concentrates on controlling his breathing. He uses the ninjutsu of regeneration. His wound closes up in an instant. R-slade is already behind him and he asks what kind of magic he just used. Koda tells him that he did not use magic, but an art that can only be attained through intense training and abandonment of identity called ninjutsu. R-slade does not think he mastered it by abandoning his identity. He says he believes that Koda mastered ninjutsu because he had something to aim for, and that he knows this because the same was needed to master magic. Koda listens. He remembers when he wanted to be free with his friend in his past. How they looked at the sky on top of a mountain to feel that freedom. Koda believes he might be right. He puts himself in an armor of fire and tells R-slade that his only goal now is to free Higri and kill anyone who stands in his way. R-slade laughs. He dares the ninja boy to come at him. The hero activates a spell that doubles his attack power. Meanwhile, Koda engulfs himself with powerful flame. They bring their battle up to the sky. Their clashes are like fireworks in the air. R-slade is intrigued by his opponent's ninjutsu and sees that he is not even chanting to activate them. He theorizes that since magic and ninjutsu are both products of human potential, they might have the same origin. Koda is intrigued by this theory. Something speeds toward the two. Suddenly, a gushing wound appears on Koda's side. It turns out, Mira managed to ambush him. The Catwoman warns the ninja to give up since he has no chance of winning against them. A giant red fireball falls on the boy. It turns out to be a spell conjured by Hagrid from a distance. She apologizes for attacking him. Smoke fills the explosion that befell the boy. Koda is having a hard time since he feels no killing intent for many of them. He deduces that while they keep saying they will kill him, none of them actually intend to do it. He wonders if they are resisting the contract seal. He realizes that they are attacking him to urge him to kill them. Knowing this, he does not know what to do. R-slade is already behind Koda. He strikes with a magic-imbued sword slash. The ninja counters with a fire attack. Their techniques are equally powerful that they are at a standstill. R-slade claims he is happy that he finally has an opponent like him. Deep down, what he means is an opponent that can end his life. He remembers the day when he and his hero's party were celebrated by the crowd of humans after defeating the Demon Lord. He was smiling as the crowd cheered for his name. Later, in R-slade's life, he becomes an old man who has lost the will to live. A large man was irritated that he was in his way and had gone through him. The crowd saw him, but they had no empathy for him because he was filthy enough to look like a beggar. This R-slade hoped that some great evil would appear and give his life meaning again. There was a child near him that spoke a monster in the western continent. The old man overheard and was intrigued. He reached the west in the lair of the Demon Lord. The evil creature was happy to see the old man. He binded his contract seal on the human's neck. At that moment, R-slade's head became filled with the instinct to end human life. He felt the pain of feeling like a puppet. He remembers when he was a child when people of his village believed he would one day be the world's hero. As a child, he believed what those grown-ups said. He was filled with the idea that the strong like him have a duty to protect the weak. He believed that he needed to become a hero. When he became the Demon Lord's puppet, the evil creature manipulated him into thinking that he was never destined to be a hero and that the humans were just using him. Even as the Demon Lord's puppet, tears fell from his eyes at the thought of it. He remembers how his spirit was swallowed up by the contract seal until he was no longer sane. It reached the point that killed the humans who used to kept repeating in his head. He realized he was no hero. Now his thoughts scream for Koda to kill him. He charges towards the ninja boy. Higri also thinks that the boy should kill her. Mira also has the same thoughts as them. Koda is heading towards Higri with R-slade just behind him. The boy feels like he needs to kill them if he has no idea where the Demon Lord is located. He ponders if he has no other choice left. He breathes in to activate the forbidden ninjutsu of scorching transformation. He grinds his teeth creating sparks. He unleashes great flame. The result is a crater that makes it look like a meteor just landed. The boy looks like a monster in the aftermath. While the technique incinerates everything within a radius of several hundred meters of the user, it also takes a toll on his body. The flame dissipates. On the ground are the unconscious bodies of the trio. The flame eye of the demon lord appears in the sky, and his voice is heard to say that he is disappointed with the heroes. He shouts that he no longer needs them, activating the seals on their necks that make them wake up in pain. Coda runs toward Hygri, believing something is happening to her. The elf smiles at seeing him. As she lies on the ground, she thanks him for saving them. The boy fears this is the end. He is desperate to think of a way to save them. He remembers Aslad theorizing ninjutsu and magic have the same origin. He also remembers when Hygri was using a spell. Coda activates a technique known as sacred stigmata. Magic is explained as a method to draw chi out of the body through spells. It is the release of supernatural energy. Coda chants an unknown language. He activates a magic circle under him while his body surges with energy. The energy spreads through the battlefield. Light is everywhere. Hygri recognizes the light as the ancient sacred stigmata spell. She wonders if Coda is the one casting it. She realizes that this version is even more powerful than hers ever was. She had never seen magic like it before. The light disappears. Hagrid looks at Coda by the center of the field. She then realizes that she is no longer in control of the demon lord. The contract seal is no longer on her neck. She feels refreshed. She looks at Coda again. She runs quickly to her, then she hugs him tight. She thanks him for saving her. The boy is glad to see her return to her senses. He tells her that he remembers using the same spell on Elvia to release her from the demon lord's contract and was able to replicate it. Hygri replies it is more powerful than hers and believes it must be his ninjutsu that enhanced it. She believes he attained a fusion of ninjutsu and magic. Coda wonders if it is true. Meanwhile, Mira just woke up to find that her contract seal has disappeared. She is glad to not feel the hatred for humanity anymore. She deems Coda strong and wants to appoint him as Hydra's war chief. Coda is already behind the Catwoman and is playing with her ears like when he was a baby. She slaps him on the face for it. Meanwhile, Aslad returns to being an old man. He smiles as he sees that Coda is the world's new hope. As his body slowly turns to dust, she thinks about how he is counting on Hygri and Mira to continue protecting the world. He believes that with Coda by their side, they can even surpass the demon god kind. He regretfully admits that he was not able to fulfill his duty as a hero. His eyes slowly close. A figure suddenly comes near him before he can close his eyes. It was Hygri who kissed his forehead. Telepathically, the elf tells him that he has been a splendid hero. She greets him to rest well. The hero reminisces about his past. He remembers when he was together with the hero's party, how they laughed together as friends on a journey. His last thought is for the world to have eternal peace. His body completely disappears into dust beneath the light of the blue sky. Myra also says goodbye to Aslav. Coda approaches Hygri. He asks that the elf sage teach him magic. Hygri is shocked to hear this from him. The people of Hydrak come to Coda and the surviving heroes. One tells the others how they saw the boy bring Hygri and Myra to their senses. Others tell the others how they saw him obliterate the media and instantly kill the goblins. They surround Coda, all cheering and thanking him for saving them. The appreciation for him is overwhelming for the boy. His cheeks are bright red. Among the crowd is Hygri, smiling at the boy. Another is Imo with the dragon sword on his back. Mira is also looking at him with a smile. Even Melee is among the crowd. Lastly, Servain is also hiding among the crowd. He looks at his friend, then he disappears. Never in Coda's wildest dreams did he think that people would have so much gratitude focused on him. He suddenly feels the warmth of a hug. It turns out it is a child who is hugging him. The kid thanks him for saving his father who was under a rock before. The former assassin boy is touched. The father of the child has a broken and bandaged leg as he approaches Coda. Coda smiles. He remembers his past when he was always hated or targeted for death, and how he never thought he would experience love. He credits everything to Hygri. The elf is happy for him. He realizes that she gave him the want to fight for people. A small dragon observes Hydra from a distance away from the city. This small dragon is focused on its watch on Coda. The dragon's thoughts are that of pride for the boy and how impressed they are for him to even master magic. He reveals that he feels proud of himself for choosing him, revealing that he is the godlike being that reincarnated him. His thoughts turn to wondering who among his chosen will be able to defeat the demon lord Jura. Jura is now angry at Katao and pledges to destroy him. The demon kind became even more active in trampling the world just to get to Coda. Having lost 5 of the 10 demons, the demon lord now sees the ninja as a great threat. He no longer wants to capture the boy, but to eliminate him. 6 months later, there is a lifeless desert. In it, a child walks. Her eyes are violet. She uses the tip of her sword as a scratch. She reaches the ruins of a city. She sees that the place is one of a series that got destroyed. A giant orc and lizard hybrid demon with a sword in hand confronts the little girl. The demon laughs that he has something to eat to get stronger. Before the monster knows it, its body is already sliced up. The little girl destroyed its face using her sword. The child catches her cool. Her name is Jean, and she is a reincarnator who has a scar on her right eye, a knight's armor, and a high-ranking sword known as Necroman. The orc demon is still alive even if his eyeball is the only part left, and he is complaining that he has been defeated despite being a newly created hybrid. He complains that he is supposed to be the next generation of the 10 demons. He realizes from the girl's red hair that she might be the one who destroyed the western continent that the 10 demons ruled. The girl stomps on the eyeball to shut it up. She continues her track. She expresses the desire to quiet the voices of lament inside her head. She asks her god if they are telling her that she needs to fight tonight. A bird-like figure watches over her. It is revealed to be a griffin. The animal observes her. The god comments that Jean has almost as much potential as Coda, and it makes them excited for the two's growth. Reincarnators are those who earn the favor of the one who sees the world and possess unimaginable powers. Reincarnators are feared and despised for their power, but also are used and revered. These powerful people have strong regrets and unfulfilled wishes. Once their souls grow, they can master the power unique to their new world. They will rival gods. A giant violet magic circle appears in the night sky above Jean. She watches on. The circle radiates energy. 2 heads of a giant snake come out of the circle, and between them is a humanoid demon. Looking closely, he is Ignite of the 10 demons. He asks the little girl if she is the human who wiped out the lower ranks of the 10 demons. Jean does not answer. Her eyes are unafraid before him. Ignite likes that she knows to be quiet before him. The demon boasts that he has conquered countless dragons and achieved great strength. He charges an energy beam to destroy her. He declares that she should disappear. Still, the girl just looks at him. Her arms remained hugging on her sword. Ignaz, giant serpentine creatures charge towards the girl while the demon unleashes a powerful blast spell. Jean remains emotionless to what is happening. The little girl unleashes a divine light spell. The light makes the serpent giants feel intense pain. Ignite comments on how it is cheating that such a high-ranking weapon has been given to a reincarnator. The divine light hits Ignite. He explodes along with the serpents. Jean says her mission as the child of God is to cut down evil. Ignite is in pieces, but is still alive and still laughing. He declares that the girl will die with him. He unleashes a beam of instant death towards her. She gets caught off guard and braces for it. She suddenly finds herself inside a magic barrier of mysterious human wearing robes. Ignite looks closely at the barrier. He can't believe the spell got deflected. He recognizes the barrier spell and determines that it should have been impossible for his instant death spell to be deflected by Jean wonders who her savior is. She looks at him carefully. The mysterious barrier caster teleports out of the barrier. He reappears right at Ignite's living head remains. The mystery man cast a ninjutsu variation of the instant death curse. Ignite's head cracks from the spell. The demon recognizes him as Coda and admits that his instant death is stronger than his. Ignite explodes. Ignite's new robes and glowing red eyes make him look like an all-powerful god. He declares that his goal is to free the world from domination. Jean wonders who he is. Coda tells her that only 2 if the 10 demons remain, ending the fight in the blink of an eye. Coda dispelled his barrier. Jean looked in confusion, not expecting to be saved. She has no idea who the young man is, but is clearly an extraordinary being. Instead of fear, curiosity takes over her, so she cautiously calls to him and asks how he plans to free the world from the dominion he hates so much. With a resolute gaze, he simply has to kill those who rule. After all living beings should be free. Once he completes his mission, all will be liberated, including himself. Jean thought about the man's dream along with the burning path she's set to walk on. As a child of God, she had a divine mission, and even now, freedom is an inconceivable goal to her. Suddenly, Coda asks if she's been reincarnated as well. He can tell from her eyes, which crossed the line between life and death countless times, perhaps even more than his half, saying she was simply called to bring judgment to the world. She asks if he's the same. While it's not exactly the same, the idea is close enough. He's met several reincarnators before, and everyone was a monster who surpassed the limits of humanity. Across different places and eras, countless beings have been brought into the world presumably by some kind of will. There's a chance that the same even happened to the Demon Lord, and they might all be under the jurisdiction of some greater existence. Jean asks if he thinks that existence is God. It's possible. But no matter what the case, be it a Buddha or a god, Coda won't forgive anyone who rules over others. Meanwhile, at the ends of the world, a lone figure walked along huge piles of debris. Carrying a huge weapon on his back, a silver-haired man treaded the land. A familiar blob appeared. Slime appeared with a cheerful grin, glad to have finally found him. He's been searching far and wide, having something he absolutely needs to ask. After a moment of chilling silence, the first Coda tells him to move aside, saying he no longer has interest in such things. they stare each other down in the mystical land which was lit by the shining galaxies of the universe. Laughing the cold response and rejection off, Slime asks the first coder to fight someone he knows is extremely and undeniably strong. The demon's gaze meets the ninja's and the chilling glare sends chivers throughout his body. Feeling like he's being ordered, the first asks why mere trash would dare give him a command. Quickly apologizing, the demon turns back in a cold sweat, impressed by the sheer power of the man's killing intent. That said, he's still the top dog among the Juma and the strongest among the demon kin. Letting his abilities loose, Slime simultaneously casts the most powerful spells of the 4 attributes. He fuses the balls of concentrated magic together. With an insane smile, he shoots the ultimate spell at the target, intending to obliterate him in one go. The grand magic ray explodes, enveloping the entire area in blinding flashes of colorful light. It lit the dark sky up, and the demon howled with a victorious laughter. As if consumed by pride, Slime cackled, saying it serves him right to be blown away. However, he suddenly finds his body split in half. He barely even registered that the ninja had used a technique. Hoda continued, now slicing the slime into several pieces. It takes a while before the demon realizes what happened. Fire, water, wind, and lightning releases are techniques the first is all too familiar with. To him, magic is boring and will never reach the realm ninjas have achieved. Such low-level flames are neither hot nor cold and do not even cause numbness. Slime's pieces shook in anger. Each one grew facial features and the pieces turned into individual wholes. His unique skill is infinite multiplication, and he overwhelms his enemies by using his selves to simultaneously chant countless spells. However, before he could even begin, the demons' bodies were split into even more pieces and more to the point where he was too minuscule to regenerate. Even now, the world is too weak, and there's no one strong enough to make the first flesh dance. Standing at the pinnacle of ninjas, he is the creator of Fuma Ninjutsu and the founder of the Fuma clan. Later, ninjutsu are mere imitations, and he is the one true source of it all. With the supernatural power he mastered, he could destroy anyone on the battlefield. And by inheriting his name, his successors were feared as immortals. With Slime wiped out, Zenova and Jura appeared from the shadows, commending the performance. The demon lord smiled at the ninja, who quickly called the demon godkin false gods. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the 5th coder felt the magical power from far away. Jean was completely oblivious, but the presence he felt had unbelievably intense killing intent. A huge magic circle suddenly appeared below Coda. Saying he senses Dominkin, he asked Jean if she's coming with him. Hugging her necromancer blade, she stuttered him silently, remembering how he talked about killing rulers regardless of who they were. The man before him aims for a world without domination. This is counterintuitive for a child of God who's lived faithfully to his divine will. Alas, freedom is nothing but a dream-like thing. She declines the invitation, adding that the next time they meet, they will likely be enemies. It's an unfortunate parting, but nonetheless, Jean thanks him for saving her and promises to repay the debt one day. Delighted by the glimmer of hope, Coda gives a huge grin looking forward to that moment. With this, he uses ninjutsu to teleport, leaving the young girl behind. While she thought of his ideals of freedom, the ninja traveled through space and soon arrived at the ends of the world. There, he sees power violently clashing. The first energy was clashing with the demons, and Zenova was ready to attack. He makes the first move, swinging his sword and sending a raging magic slash at the enemy. Standing his ground, the ninja barely makes an effort to deflect the attack. Recognizing his hand's movement, Coda realizes that the man is using ninjutsu. Satisfied, Jura says the first abilities far exceed the rumors, but the same must be true for the dark emotions sleeping inside him. He harbors unbelievable anger and hatred, emotions fitting demon kin. With this, the demon lord's determination only grows as she desires to make him hers. Zenova appeared behind the ninja intending to end things fast with a surprise attack. However, a red hand suddenly appeared. Coda has entered the battle, clad in red armor, and disposed of the last Juma with one strike. With this, only the demon lord is left. Jura is enraged, having watched her underlings be done in one by one. She intended to claim him as well, but now all she wants is for him to die right then and there. Watching from behind, the first hears the Madress Coda as the 5th and recognizes the technique he used. Finally pulling his covers off, he reveals a huge grin. Moving forward to face the demon lord, Coda summoned the 5 elements just like Slime did earlier. The blazing rays of light shot forward, seeming to deal more destruction than when it was previously cast. However, Jura is unharmed and is instead intrigued that he's mastered magic in such a short amount of time. That said, the little test allowed him to confirm the claim that magic doesn't work on Godkin. The Lord smiled and so did the first who was observing from behind. Just then, Coda slowly ran his finger across his neck, emotionlessly wounding the flesh. Red liquid gushed out, but for some reason, suddenly started wrapping around his body, enveloping it in crimson armor. It's one of the advanced ninjutsu. And if they are going to be serious, then he's going to crush the failure of a demon lord with ninjutsu alone. The insulting words reached Jura, who, struck with the brazen insolence, recalls her kind saying they have no place for a failure like her. She was cast out, told that she may return to their side if she brings results. From that moment, she swore to gather the strongest demons and be recognized as a true god. Screaming in fury, she claimed to be the one true ruler. She sent her magic forward, but it completely missed Koda. Instead, it heads straight for the first, who she intends to turn into her subordinate, the crest wrapped around his neck, amplifying his negative emotions. As the spell connects, she feels victorious, but the ninja is unbothered and nonchalantly flicks the binding off. To her surprise, the crest disappears from his neck. Jura shrieks in fury, while Koda just scoffs, finding it ridiculous to expect such a technique to work on a ninja. Feeling belittled and underestimated, she retreats into her void and summons two huge lumps of flesh. They shoot out, revealing themselves to be gigantic arms. The rest of the body soon followed, emerging with Jura's third eye, asking if they really intend to oppose God. Magic concentrated by the figure's mouth and a white beam shot out. Meanwhile, Sylvain was watching from nearby, intent, but silent as the fight began. Jura lunged forward with a resounding scream, but Koda confidently stood his ground. As long as he has the red armor on, he won't feel a thing. Looking to his side, he sees the first using the same ninjutsu. That said, the original armor is thicker, more refined, and downright menacing. Still unaware of who he is, the young man is surprised to see the sacred fume art used. Neither of them are harmed in the slightest, which only angers Jura even more. She roars, shooting enormous red pikes from the ground. The ground and debris touching it disintegrates, and while Koda expertly maneuvers around them, it's too risky to let the fight go on that way. A speeding appendage crashes into his entire body, and he immediately begins to shatter. When things seem bleak, he reappeared, completely fine and fooling the enemy with illusion ninjutsu. He speeds up, vanishing from their sight and traveling towards the demon lord's body. Seeing him appear above her, she's in disbelief, questioning how the power of God is inferior. In sheer denial, she questions who and what he is. However, she already knows the answer to that. He is Fumakoda, a mere human. His confidence infuriates her, but in the end, both of them are nothing but toys of the gods. The ninja is surrounded with nowhere to escape to. Instead of shying away, he tries to end it by using his clan's forbidden arts. Aiming his fingers, he shoots the ninjutsu at the demon lord. Suddenly, she found her colossal body being pushed into the land, sinking deep into the ground. The attack leaves a chasm, seemingly as deep as the void over the cliff. Koda jumps down, descending fast to see if the battle is over. The Fuma bullet is the strongest wind ninjutsu, which fires a compressed vacuum pressure. Descending into the void he created, Koda comes face to face once more with Jura, who's raging after being made a fool by a mere human. As she vowed to kill him with her entire being, he fell even deeper, soon reaching another world, beneath the one they were just on top of. The two beings plummeted, landing at the peak of gigantic bones. While the Fuma ninjutsu was one of the strongest attacks he has, the persistent demon god can manage to survive. She encased herself and went into a metamorphic state, soon emerging with a more sinister form. Brimming with power, Jura orders him to kneel. Koda doesn't move at first, but is shocked as his body suddenly acts on its own, bringing his knees and head to the floor. With the powers of a god, her words all become reality. This is the unique skill of Godkin verbal reality. Her words become the laws of the world, and most tremble in fear as their fragile lives are placed in someone else's hands. She commands him to be near death, be consumed by poison, and writhe in agony. The skill takes effect, and Koda is hit all at once. His eyes nearly pop out from the pressure, and he reaches in pain, standing at the edge of death. However, this power has a drawback, causing the caster's own body to perish if overused. The ninja manages to insult the Lord one last time before she commands him to die. Just then, Koda interrupts Jura, ordering her to shut her mouth. The godkin's mouth is sealed tight as her unique skill is mimicked and used against herself. He wastes no time and in the blink of an eye, shatters the demon lord's weakened body. The ninja used Death Frenzy, which boosts his physical abilities by excessively secreting adrenaline. Jura is still trying to grasp the situation in disbelief that he just used her divine technique. Finally, she understands the reason, how he mastered magic in such a short time. The fifth Fumakoda's unique skill is copy. Before perishing completely, she curses the world one last time. Meanwhile, surveying and the first watched everything unfold. The originator of Fuma ninjutsu is intrigued, having witnessed his successor's power. Koda stood in silence, having defeated the demon race's strongest warriors. Calling to Hegri, he asks if the world has finally become a place where she can live smiling, at least in the world above. Just then, Sylvain interrupted his moment saying it's no use. After all, conflict breeds hatred, and that cycle never ends, unsolvable even by killing. Looking at the former demon lord, he says he must be misunderstanding something. The ninja already knows this fact as it was the same reality in his old life. Every world is the same, and conflict never ends. He has no intention saving this world and simply hates those who dominate. The first chuckles at his successor's words, saying he's exactly how a ninja should be. After all, they are just battle-crazed fools who can't help but get giddy upon seeing a strong enemy. Kota turns to him, still unaware of who the ninja is. He was unable to react and simply stared in shock as the first appeared before him in the blink of an eye. Hearing him talk about inheriting his name, the young man finally gets an idea of his identity. Fuma continued going on about killing every last ruler he met and never being satisfied. With no equal to match his strength, he lived a lonely, discontented life. At some point, he realized that the only one who could kill him was himself. Now his far-fetched fantasy has come true. Kota has no obligation to fight him, but when he's shown so much killing intent, he can't just stay still either. Meeting his gaze, the first challenges him to go ahead and try. Although they stay still, the blaze behind their eyes is unwavering. However, they aren't able to do much as their bodies suddenly began to float. A familiar voice called, telling the heroes who defeated the demon lord to gather immediately. The reincarnator recognizes the voice. It's the exact same one he heard during the final moments of his previous life. While they were being sucked in, Serving asked what was going on, revealing himself after watching them all this time. The ninja expresses his gratitude, causing the former lord to bashfully say that he wasn't particularly interested in him. Kota asks for a favor and requests that he tell Higiri that he promises to come back alive. Although surprised by the bold and confident statement, the demon understands and accepts. With this, the two ninjas disappeared. In an odd turn of events, the two ninjas found themselves in an odd realm. Kota's eyes widened in recognition, realizing that it's the same place he saw when he met the being that reincarnated him. Feeling a surge of killing intent, he reacted instinctively, defending just in time to block the first attack. He commends his successor, noting that he might have shown too much pressure. They are in an undeniably strange place, but it doesn't matter where they are. The only thing that interests him, the originator of Fuma, is fighting powerful opponents. With this, Kota finally realizes who he's against. He isn't just the first. He's the real Fuma Kota who passed his techniques down from a mountain of corpses. With this recognition, the old and new clash, a resounding wave signaled the fight, and they quickly followed up, speeding through the air and exchanging countless counters. The first is elated, satisfied with the fifth's performance. He can tell just how much training and suffering he endured until now. They both reached a realm utterly unattainable by ordinary people who lack exceptional conviction. Having waited for so long, he's thrilled to finally meet someone as strong as him. Acknowledging him as a worthy rival, he challenges the young ninja to fight to their heart's content. Keeping his calm, Kota can't help but be intrigued, wondering if he really can defeat the originator of Fuma. Burning with passion and excitement, the first body erupted in a fiery blaze, intending to have the fifth go against his full power. Through this battle, his flesh and soul will finally dance once more. Mangled bodies across the battlefield led a cold path to mountains of corpses piled high. A small hand emerged from the deep, gripping through limbs to reveal a child whose eyes forebode a walking tragedy. Fuma was cursed from the moment he was born, crawling out from under the piles of carcasses. He ate the bodies to survive. Sometime later, a fire raged in a village. A knight currently burning to ash looked on in terror at the child before him. A monster walked forward, and during this time, the first was beginning to understand the extent of destruction his power could bring. Some others approached, asking what kind of rapper he was. Young and untrained, he did not understand. Regardless of what it's called, he just used ninjutsu, meaning he's a ninja just like them. They are machines who know nothing but to kill. Hearing this, Fuma was intrigued. With a huge grin, he asks if they are strong enough to back their words. Only when he was in a place of death and only when he was fighting and killing powerful opponents, could he be glad and thankful that he was born, often standing alone after a battle, even before he was a ninja. And from the moment he was born, all he knew was killing. As such, killing was all he did and sought out to do. The two ninjas clashed once more, and the impact was strong enough to break through their red armor. Fuma smiled, thrilled by the opponent's incredible firepower. As he was about to try something different, a beam of light shot out from the sky, interrupting the battle as it landed right between them. Surprisingly, the light delivered an unexpected visitor. Kota recognizes who it is. Melee emerged and uncharacteristically orders Cannibal to shut up as he panicked from the sudden teleportation. A few more beams shot down, similarly bringing other reincarnators. Jean was among them, believing that God has guided her once again. Two new unfamiliar reincarnators, Liftashir and Ragnar, appeared with a strong presence. Looking around, Kota quickly understands that everyone was reincarnated like him. Several more beams now rained down. Familiar reincarnators appeared, and with them, several more arrived at the scene. Now a variety of personalities surround the ninjas. The presences are unlike anything Koda has ever felt before, and it's obvious that not a single one of them is an ordinary person. Given the amount of newies that have shown up, Ragnar asks if they are having a party. Jean shares a similar distaste and wonders what God's intentions are. To her, one apostle such as herself should suffice. Suffice. The others chime in with Cannibal particularly happy with all the targets. On the other hand, Fuma is furious as the death match he waited so long for had just been interrupted. Before he could pick a fight with them all, the ground suddenly shook. An enormous tentacle-like appendages lifted them up, rocking and swaying with the humans atop them. While everyone stood their ground effortlessly, the largest appendage shot out, forming a dark void over them all. The divine flame spoke to the heroes who killed the Demican in a wonderful battle. That said, it expected a bit more from them, so now it wants them to have a bit more fun. Finally, it's revealed that the offering is insufficient to sustain the gods and the great god tree. They are at the root of the world. The branches piercing all the worlds and the trunk that binds everything all belong to the world tree Yggdrasil. The spoils of death spilled over realms converge there, allowing the balance and the tree to be sustained. Thanks to the reincarnators, they have almost reached their target, but it's still not enough. However, having them rampage is not interesting, so it brings up the few human attachments they've likely formed. As such, the world in which they were reincarnated into will collapse should they die. If they do not wish for this to happen, then they must kill and survive. To the one who causes the most carnage, any reward and any wish shall be granted. Hearing this, some question if such a cruel god exists, while the others are tempted by the invaluable reward. The deathmatch starts right away, and everyone in the same way they appeared disappears in a flash of light. If Koda dies, all the friends he's made so far will also perish, flying across the sky being sent to wherever. Some reincarnators cackle at the ridiculous gods. That said, the roster of fighters is intriguing to say the least. Everyone arrives at their designated spot. Jean is in the 16th layer world, Crispire, which is covered by infinitely expanding forest. As she landed first, a few others soon followed. She stood tall and proud, believing that her god does not need an apostle and only needs her. Fuma similarly appears in his location, which is a lair world he hasn't been to. Still alone, he waited, hoping for a certain someone to come. He's in the 32nd layer world, Batchworth, where a vast empty land spreads out. In other words, it's the perfect place for a fight. His challenger finally appears. A redhead named Ishikawa, aloof and smiling, asks if he's a ninja, saying he can tell by the vibe. Being one himself, he proposes a battle between peers. This interests Fuma, so he continues, adding that he used to be a rogue and was known as everyone's favorite master thief. The two immediately jump into battle, and the younger one surprisingly matches the first movements. He laughs in delight as their movements confirm that they are definitely both ninja. Fuma has a similar grin across his face, satisfied that the battle might actually be enjoyable. Pulling his fist back, Ishikawa punches the ground, driving it into the earth. The surface cracks and breaks, spreading across a wide area. Using ninjutsu, he wills pillars of fire to shoot out from the cracks. Fumu jumps around to dodge the magma pulled from the underground. Taking a closer look, he sees that the ninja has disappeared, leaving only the space that was punched. Ishikawa appears behind him, attempting a sneak attack. However, the first is already looking before he could finish moving. The young one is impressed. His unique skill allows him to snatch one's thoughts, but is moving even faster than he can react. He asks about the originator's unique skill, saying it'd be more fun to fight knowing their cards. They can lay everything out on the table and have an ultimate death match. Beaming at the brazen ninja, Fuma reveals that his skill is Death Sight, which allows him to see when any creature will die. Creature will die. In his case, it'll be in 10 seconds. Ishikawa cackles at the claim, completely believing him, but enjoying nonetheless. He sets out to overturn that foreseen future and clashes with the first. Their hits seem to be unending until they finally stop. Panting from exhaustion, the master thief animalistically laughs, saying he's still alive despite the prediction. However, this doesn't last long as his body is cut into countless pieces. The last thing he sees is Fuma's back as he reveals his true identity. Ishikawa recognizes the name as the originator of ninjutsu, and he says there's no way he could have won. He perishes, earning the first recognition for his bravado and skill. Moving on, another flash of light appears. As fate would have it, Koda emerged, reuniting sooner than they had expected. Encasing himself in the red armor, Koda says the gap between him and the first is negligible. Recalling their fight, he corrects himself, remembering that Fuma was smiling the entire time, meaning he wasn't serious. Now blazing in flames, he walked forward. The man before him is the originator of ninjutsu, and his techniques are but a mere imitation of his work. He cannot defeat him in his current state, so he must grow during the battle if he wants to win. For a moment, Fuma sizes his opponent up and lets loose to continue their death match. Battle crazed, he tells the fifth to come at him. Kicking it right into high gear, Koda immediately uses forbidden arts, bursting into flames and pushing his physical abilities to the limit. Having developed those abilities himself, Fuma does the same thing, intending to clarify just which of them is the better ninja. From this short encounter, the ground is overturned, burnt, and left in cinders. They continue to fight, exchanging blows and blocks. The first goads him on, asking why he isn't using the Godkin's verbal reality skill. If he so much as commands him to die, the match will be easily settled. Unbothered by the provocation, he says such methods would be meaningless. He wasn't allowed to possess anything, including freedom, emotions, and even a name. However, it's different now. He's obtained freedom, and he lives like a human. Fuma Koda is the name of the strongest ninja, and by killing him, the first bearer of the name, he can become the real thing. In other words, it will all be meaningless unless he surpasses him with ninjutsu. Delighted by his answer, the first passion only burns more intensely. As such, he'll respond to that conviction with all his power as his eyes can already foresee Koda's death. With his death sight, Fuma looks into Koda's future. He sees it. The fifth will live for a very long time, putting everything into their next exchange. The two cast lightning fire, and the lair world is lit with a crackling yellow light. The first red shell shatters from the impact, although he immediately recasts it to shield himself. He looks at his opponent in shock and acknowledgement, seeing him not only copy his lightning fire instantly, but also make it far stronger. Having finally met his match, Fuma smiles in satisfaction. Trying again and again, their abilities collide several more times. Lightning fire focuses an electric current in the body into a single point and releases it. As the exchange becomes repetitive, the originator tries something new and uses an enhanced version of the ninjutsu. The impact this time is massive, but so is the counter. Just as he saw, Koda's death is still a long way off. After mastering countless techniques and after countless battles, his death will eventually come. However, Fuma's time is finally ending, but he leaves this life feeling content and happy. The light dies down, leaving only the originator's head into act. It was the ultimate death match, which earned Koda ownership over his name. As ninja, they had no name. And at one point, people just started addressing the first that way, mainly because of his terrifying speed despite being small. A demon as swift as the wind, the strongest ninja. With the little life he had left, he tells the fifth that he is the one true Fuma Koda. Koda thanks the first. Because of him, he feels like he's truly come back to life. He's obtained countless things which he thought he could never possess. He's gained both acknowledgement and power, but he'll strive to keep growing stronger for the sake of those he must protect. Such aspirations earn Fuma's envy. In death, he concludes that having such a ninja exist might not be so bad. Yggdrasil's branches shake, and the lair worlds chatter as the death match ends. While some die in flames begging for mercy, others relish the thought of earning the unconditional wish, even thinking of sacrificing innocence for their sake. The gods are pleased as such a level of carnage is needed for their purpose. With the humans acting according to expectations, their revival grows near. Meanwhile, Koda silently walked forward. Killing used to be his everything, and not once did he think that a day like today would come. His next challenger comes, arriving in the familiar beam of light. The battle-hungry reincarnator smiles, looking forward to his next battle. However, the ninja has no interest, so for his sake, he's warned against showing killing intent. Insulted over being ordered around, the man's eyes turn dark. Unfortunately, this didn't last long as Koda appeared inches from him. Quickly grabbing his face, he drives the arrogant man's head to the ground. His name is Fuma Koda, a name his victims will take to the grave.